Welcome. Today we're going to talk about summarizing your main areas of focus. This idea came up while talking with a coaching client I had. We were kind of talking about research systems and how to set up your research system. So if you're interested in that kind of coaching, reach out. Find a way to reach out. And if I get enough people, I will start actually really offering it to everyone. And we talked with him about just summarizing your main areas of focus so that if a colleague, if someone newish to the field said, what's the most important stuff, you had your 2 or 3 main areas of focus that are most important in your field. Before we get into that, I want to tell you a few ways to support the channel. Number 1 is to become a patron, patreon.com/Curtis McHale. Number 2, take one of my courses on Skillshare. You can just get to Skillshare with my affiliate link by going to curtismchale.ca/Skillshare. But in the video description below, you'll actually find links to like my Zettelkasten course, my tick course, my time blocking course, and that'll take you right there where you too can take one of my courses. Hear my voice lovely again. That's it. I also stream many Fridays at 1 p.m. Pacific. That's what I'm doing right now. So after this, people will get to ask me questions about research. And I actually have a question. I just realized this in my email that I'll have to look up and answer after this video, because someone asked me a question. I will tell them what time code I did it so they can check it out. Anyway, let's talk about summarizing your areas of focus. So like I said, I talked to a coaching student about summarizing your areas of focus. He works with mammals and diving, actually, like a research scientist. And he talked about, there's probably 2 or 3 main areas that you focus on that are most important to your career, to his career, and what is the state of the art you know about them? Just give me like 4 paragraphs. So that if someone asks you later on and says, hey, what is the state of the art for that idea? Then you really sit down and you can pull out your phone, and he uses Obsidian, but you can pull out your phone and Craft and say your device and say, hey, here's the state of the art right now. And then you could even put a bullet point below them. And here's 4 or 5 items below this that I think kind of line up here. These are new things that I haven't incorporated into my summary yet. So let's show how we would do that in Craft, or how we could do that, how we could lay it out. Now this is just going to be visual style in some ways, right? I'm going to go in here, I'm going to make a card, and let's just leave it. I don't like getting fancy with any of this stuff. I think getting fancy is just not worth it. Apply. So what would be my area of focus here? Let's call it community building. So I picked a card in Craft because it also allows me to, it doesn't show up in my database in the same way that a regular page does. That's why I'm not linking to a regular page. And so I would maybe look at this and, do a summary. What do I know so far about it? I know that you can open up a new one. Slide it off to the side. Let's just do this. Really set it up how I would. And let's go over here and look at community. So you got a ton of notes in here already on different things. So I know, one of the things that I know is that people don't cycle if there is no So a good thing here would be actually just some sort of citation, although I'd have to look it up, and that's going to be like a 5-hour video if I start doing that. We're not going to do that. So that would be one thing I summarize, right? And as I go through other things, right, so I need to look at and say, it might be another good idea, good thread to pull on is electric vehicles aren't the solution, because they just push car culture. Right, they don't make a big change in what car culture is. All they do is just make it slightly more palatable on the environment. And car culture is stuff like, what was it? City of Surrey, maybe? Nah, some RCMP place out here, maybe Kelowna. basically said, hey, pedestrians, you got to be really careful. It's pedestrian day. Make sure you take all the responsibilities for cars hitting you. And a lot of people were like, really? How about drivers? Don't look at those big custom screens you have that are sitting right beside you. Don't do all these other things, right? Maybe go half the speed you should. Drive properly in a school zone, and then maybe you won't kill people. Because, a pedestrian just walking down the street or walking down the sidewalk does not, suddenly up and die because they had headphones in. It's the car that hit them. But they kind of, I guess, victim blamed that. And so just looking at that, like, electric cars don't really solve that problem. So that'd be one thing I could look at, and I could go through, like, here's this, and people say, hey, is that actually true that cycling infrastructure doesn't happen? I could go through, and I know I have some of that in here. I could go back through and support it, or I could look at that and say, well, maybe I didn't find support in my notes, so I need to go back and find it again in one of the resources I have. And I think that alone will just really help you know what you think is important and dig into it easily for people, so that when someone else later on says, hey, what's most important when I'm talking to a friend about cycling infrastructure, even cycling friends, and I say, cars are kill at this rate right here, and high rates, they would say, well, I don't know about that. And I could pull up my phone, pull out the note and say, yep, here's the citation right here. Here's the link to the article. Because I have a short summary of the state of my understanding in it right now. So I think that would be a very good thing to do for the areas that you really care about. I might do it community building. What else I might do it in, I guess I could look at some of my ideas. Research dashboards would be another one. What else would I do about it? Look at it in keeping and connecting ideas would be another one for me. I'll bring you back so you can see this. All right, keeping and connecting ideas right here. This is kind of like my holding for Zettelkasten the notes, or even say Gutenberg. This is something I'll be looking at more. So this is a technology in WordPress that I need to use. There's a few other things that I could look at in here that I think would be just a really good option to summarize, because they'll be the long-term things, right? Parenting, the state of the art in parenting or marriage that I understand might be another good idea, and I'm reading more around those. Or productivity. I just finished reviewing here A World Without Email by Mr. Cal Newport. Just finished reviewing this, so looking at this and what's the state of the art in productivity that I know for personal productivity. What about for management as a manager? That's really it. That's what I think is important and something that you should look at doing, summarizing your areas of focus so that you have a good synopsis of where you stand, what you understand, and even highlighting maybe where you don't. And then as you go long term, you can just put in I need to incorporate these other notes and make it a practice every quarter to do, especially if, like my one coaching client, and if you're watching this, you know who you are, your crucial job function is to understand the research. You better do this, because if you're not actually going back through processing, summarizing, and really understanding your areas of focus, then you're not performing your crucial job function. That's it. Thanks for watching. If you want to support the channel, you can thumbs up below, subscribe, hit the bell. YouTube will let you know what happens. But honestly, notifications are a pain in the butt. So I'm wanting you to do that because it helps my channel. But on my end, I never do this because I don't want notifications. And I don't think you do either. So don't do what I just said. Other ways to support the channel: become a patron, patreon.com/ChrisMcHale. You can join the Discord, link below. You can join me on streaming Fridays 1 p.m. Try to put that up about an hour, a couple hours before, so you can find the link early. What else? Courses, Zettelkasten course. That's the other thing. There's a link to that below. You can get that on Skillshare. I earn some money when you take it, and I earn some money if you sign up with my link. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.